Want to see the progress I made in the fish room? Alright, fishy folks, happy Sunday fun day. Once again, I did not do as much as I wanted to. Life happens, being a dad happens, and that's all fine and dandy for me. So, what did I get done yesterday? I did test the new sump. Let's see, it's 3 or 4 times now, and other than the few water leaks that I have to actually glue PVC connections, everything is fine. I did empty this tank, which if you remember had the second colony of pink pastel steel nebulas. I don't know if you can see, but there is one fish left. I gotta be honest, they were hard to catch because of the color and how this rack is set up, which is just terrible. And now that I think about it, I thought I took the water fill lines out of this tank, but now that I think about it, there is one in the back attached to the pecs that I didn't see. So hopefully I didn't lose any fish down the drain. If I did, rest in peace. If I didn't, great, but there is one swimming around in there. Same thing goes for this tank up top. This had the red brick swords, which basically are morphs from the red wag sword colony that I also started taking out. You can see I took the filter out of it and it never came back down, so gotta get those fish out of there. But there is one more. There he is right there. So my plan for today is to finish breaking down some of these tanks. I did this wrong, quite frankly. What I should have done was start breaking down the tanks on the bottom, that 31st, and then this 32nd. I'm going to leave this 55 until I sell the koi angels, because I could put more tanks there. I could put 3 tanks there and 3 tanks here, 20s. Anyway, I probably should have done that first, but I think I have space for all these tanks. That's not true. I don't have space for all these tanks. That's why I should have done this differently, but I'll figure it out. Next is going to be this bottom shelf, so I can disconnect this plumbing and just cap this off so that when the water flows down, it doesn't go all over the place. As I'm looking at this bluegrass tank, I see some ginormous pregnant females and there's 2 males in there. Both of them are quite lovely to look at. I mean, they're not pure strains, which, I mean, are any guppies really pure strains? You know what I'm saying. But I can't call them bluegrass. I'd have to call them something else. I don't know what I'd call them. And I don't really have space for them, which is why I think I'm just going to put them in the mutt guppy tank and deal with that. So, alright, I'm going to get to work. I'll be back shortly. Let's just take a look at that fantastic black panda guppy. I mean, look. Tumbo ears, just swimming, looking all cute. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, fishy folks. Through the magic of video, you can see the end product. Well, at least where I've gotten to so far. So all along I thought these connections were just slip fit, not glued, but apparently they're glued, which sort of isn't really a big deal. These tanks, all these 10s are going to be on the top shelf excuse me, of the rack that's going to be on this side. I'll just have to be very careful when I plumb them. I'm going to use tubing so there's more flex. The one issue with hard piping this, you know, something like this, if you bump it, there's a good chance the tank's going to crack, especially with this paper thin 10-gallon tank. You know, if this was a non-tempered 55, it really wouldn't be that big a deal if you bumped it, but I've cracked only one of these. Actually, I don't even know why it cracked. I think my dog Nico, when he was alive, bumped it one day, but anyway. So I still see there's one pink pastel steel nebula in there. and there weren't as many bluegrass, or what was left of the bluegrass line, as I thought. I'm wondering if I'm wondering why, quite frankly. There was a ton of black panda fry, and I'm gonna let that settle and take a look again before I move these tanks. So as you guys know, as much as I plan, a lot of times I just do things sort of willy-nilly or off the cuff. Feel free to use the willy-nilly line. And the air for this bottom shelf was just ridiculous. It was one air line coming from the top into a gang valve, which is this, and then that breaking off into the tanks, and then that breaking off into a splitter here. So long story short, I had to come up with something to keep these two tanks filled with air, and so all I did was use a connector. I bought them at my LFS. I think they've been there since 1912 when he first opened. I think it was $1 for 4 of them, and I'm like, I could probably use those, and I've used them a couple times now in renovations in the fishing, temporary of course, but basically they're used to join two pieces of tubing together. I'll show you. Stand by. So here's the package. Look, it's from 1912, maybe 1913, and here's what they look like. Simply a connector. How much were they? It says $1.19. I'm sure he only charged me $1, no tax. All right, the fish room's starting to get a little messy with the renovation. I'm probably going to spend some time reorganizing and getting that toolbox up on the bench and cleaned up. There's the toolbox. Thanks again, Rich. At first, I was just picking it up for him because it was in my town and he's a couple hours away. And then he's like, no, just keep it. And I was like, but it's really growing on me, to be honest. Here, look inside. Dirty. Oh, there's tools. Some sort of metal. So, yeah, that's that. All right, so what's the plan for the rest of the day? Let's finish cleaning out all the fish. I see another black panda in the muck. There's at least one more pink pastel steel nebula, and there are a couple bluegrass fry. Then I have to find homes for these two tanks. I'm not really sure where I'm gonna put them. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta be honest. I may leave these here for now. I do have to go buy a what's that thing called? A cap for this. I do need some PVC parts, so I have to write a list. If I don't cap that off, then tomorrow morning when the auto water change system starts, all the water from these 3 tanks is going to be on the floor. And even though it's close to the drain and the floor is concrete, that still will be a big mess. So I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to check in later. All right, fishy folks, I think I have figured out where I'm going to put the fish in the other 2 tanks. So let's recap. This tank had pink pastel steel nebulas. They're in the main pink pastel steel nebula tank. It was just a second colony I started. I had the tank space, and I didn't want to, if something happened to that tank, I wanted to keep the line alive in my stock, so I created a second tank. Not a big deal. This one had black panda guppies. That was the original colony. I got some black panda females from super breeder Steve to add some new genetics to the line, as well as I was low on females. They went into the second, the ones in here went into the tank with those females, which is over there with the FishFreaksPlus.com sticker. Then that was the original bluegrass tank that I got from Corey at Aquarium Co-op. I'll try to link that video somewhere up here. But I think an Endler got in there somehow and sort of destroyed the line. So while they were pretty nice looking, they really weren't bluegrass guppies. So I just added those to the mutt tank. I'm gonna let the mutt tank explode over the next 5 months or so, and when I go to the March NEC show in Connecticut, I'm gonna bring some mutt guppies and run a special for them. So this tank had the red brick swords, and I put them in the other light colored, clear colored swordtail tank, the ones that don't breed true from the blue black. You can see there's 2 fry, 1 juvenile, maybe 1 fry in there now that I gotta get out of there. Not really happy with those fish, to be honest with you, but it's a whole nother story. That leaves me with German half black AOCs and the red Russian lace guppies, which they're still they're very skittish, these guys, but they're gorgeous. Anywho, those 2 and the red brick swords, which if it was up to me, I would probably just give to my local fish store, but I mean, it is up to me, I guess, but I'm not going to do that. Anywho, these guys are going to go in that corner tank with their friends. I've already started moving them over, and that leaves me with these 2. And I was going to leave these 2 on this rack, but to be honest, I want to shut this rack down today. So I was thinking to myself, where are you going to put them? Well, I did what any other fish keeper with 55 tanks in their fish room does. I turned around here and went, holy crap, where am I going to put them? And then I realized I have space up here. There's 2 5.5 gallons. One of them has angels. That tank is way too small for them, but when I got them, they were dime size. They were a gift from Daniel Anderson over at Hypnotic Aquatics. So I'm going to put those with the koi angels in the 55 down low. And then I have those blue angel, there's 4 blue angel juveniles in there, and Bruce is in there. I'm going to put the 4 juvenile angels also in that 55 down low, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Bruce yet. That's the only issue. I may put him with this apisto, this 1 single apisto, and see how that goes for a little while. I may put them with those angels, but I don't think so, because angels are cichlids and they can get, you know how they can get. Or I may just set up another tank for him real quick somewhere, like that what's that thing called, the 10-gallon tank right there. I may set that up, take one of the 10 gallons behind me that's already got a drain, all set up, and I might set that up for him, just temporary. We'll see. Not really sure yet. Let's take a look though what I do. I know you're as curious as me. All right, fishy folks, we've sort of reached an impasse. I've drained 4 tanks, the 2 that were here, this one and that one, and I've got the plumbing disconnected. I've got most of the fish out of that top tank, but it gets quite cloudy quite quickly when I start looking for fish, so I'm gonna let that one settle for a little while. I also realized I have to change the clock on my auto water change system, but sorry. So let me show you what we got so far. Water on the floor, but that's par for the course, I guess. We're gonna put those 2 10s up there, and the red Russian lace guppy colony and the German half black AOC colony will go up there, and they're going to live up there for good. If you can see through the tanks, those are 3/4 inch bulkheads that I've glued 3/4 inch PVC to. That's what I had when I did this project. That's what I used. Personally, I like the threaded bulkheads better, just because you can take them apart without breaking anything. So as an example, if one of these tanks breaks, the bulkhead's garbage. I can't get it out because it's glued. Whereas if it's threaded, you just unscrew it and put it on another tank. But when I built the fish room, I think I bought 12 threaded, 12 slip to see what I liked better. And the slip are cheaper, but I like the threaded better. All right, that's enough bulkhead talk. I need some parts. I have to go to the one of the big box stores, probably Lowe's because it's closer. And I just need common 3/4 inch PVC parts, nothing special. Home Depot does have a bigger variety, but Lowe's is closer, and I just need some couplers, some 3/4 inch pipe. Let me show you the back. the disaster that's the back. By the way, I didn't clean up the fish room at all yet, so it's still kind of a disaster again, but it's construction. All right. Disaster back here. Water on the floor because remember I told you I had to put a cap here. Well, yeah, water's still dripping out of there. I should probably fix that, but I'm too lazy. All right, so I'm gonna run probably some tubing from here down. See, here's the deal. I have some tubing, not enough, so I'm gonna probably run a little tubing into the pipe and some 3/4 inch pipe running down because I don't have enough tubing right now. That's really not a big deal. I can always use 3/4 inch pipe, not a problem. I have fill lines here already, so I'm not too concerned over that. We have the drain lines. We have 2 holes for drain lines, so I'm not too concerned about that. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna head out to the hardware store. Maybe I'll film me walking through the hardware store looking for PVC parts. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, stay tuned. This should be fun, I think. Not really sure. Yeah, great film work. So a couple things I have to do. We'll see if I remember them. I have to buy something to cap this off for now. So that's just standard threads. So I just need a cap to screw on there, and I think, and some couplers and some caps and some pipe. My money is I'm going to forget something. So write down what you think I'm going to forget, and we'll see in a couple minutes when I get to the store and then come home. All right, I'll be back. All right, fishy folks, back from Lowe's. Unfortunately, I couldn't really film because there was a, for lack of a better term, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, a redneck couple arguing. I did sort of film my reaction to them talking, so that'll be part of the bloopers at the end, so stay tuned for that. But alright, I do have some more fish to get out of these 2 tanks, but I did pretty much get most of them transferred over. There's also still some fish left up there, but I have to go, I have other responsibilities like being a dad. I've been down here pretty much for 4 or 5 hours, plus going to the store and stuff. So let me show you what I have done so far, or actually for today. I'm still draining those 2 tanks. There's still a couple fish left in either one. I do see at least 2 red Russian lace guppies in that far tank, and in the middle tank I do see a couple of fry, the German half black AOCs. I know up here one of the big daddies staring at us. How you doing? And I'm sure there's some more juveniles. And then let's turn slowly so we don't make anyone puke. We have the German half blacks up here and the red Russian lace. Look at that. You hardly ever see them because they're shy. Hopefully they'll be a little bit more outgoing now that they're up here. But I have the drain lines, and I'll show you how I piece together those. And I have fill lines in, and obviously the filters from the tanks that they were in. Let's go look at the disaster of the drain lines that I pieced together. I bought a couple different parts to try, and it turns out I really didn't need, I only needed one of the parts. But so here's what I did. Since I had this piece and this piece, I just felt a drip. Why would I feel a drip? Oh, maybe it's bubbling. Maybe it bubbled out. Anyway, so we have 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch, a coupler, then a 1/2 inch adapter or bushing, and then a small piece of 1/2 inch, and then this tube, and then it goes down into there. Same thing here, 1/2 inch pipe, the tube, 1/2 inch pipe. This was already made, this elbow. In fact, that's what went into the other tank. So then I have the 3/4 inch bushing, a coupler, little pipe, coupler. So I used a couple of couplers and everything else I had, and those 2 bushings, which were like 80 cents each, no big deal. There's some more of the red Russian lace guppy. It's a fantastic looking guppy. Quick history, I got them, I think at the Bucks County
auction probably in the spring, and I lost the female after she dropped a bunch of fry, and those are her fry. I do see a couple with bent backs actually. Now that I'm looking, I see two. I'm gonna have to get those out of there and give them to the angels as snacks. I think I thought I lost the female, then I thought I lost the male. I don't know if they were just hiding, but long story short, the colony's coming along. Hopefully in the spring, when we really start shipping more fish, the colony will be quite large and ready to go. I do ship fish in the winter, but I do watch the weather, so it's not a guaranteed shipment. Because if it's, you know, 0 degrees, that's really cold to ship fish, even with heat packs. All right, so let's see that black piece of hose. Bless me. That's bad. That would be water on the floor. So I'm guessing it came out of this tank. So I like this hose. Sorry about moving the camera so fast. I like this. Hello, where is it? What the heck? There it is. I like this this hose for fill lines because it's black, so it's not going to get all gunked up like this. This one's actually clogged. This one right here, clogged solid gunk. So I like it for that reason. However, it's not like airline tube where you can just lay it where you want and it stays. This one has like a memory, a coil memory. So yeah, let's maybe put this in the moss. Maybe that'll help hold it. I do have to figure out a way to secure them to the tanks. The owner of my local fish store said, oh, just put a dab of silicone on the side of the tank and that'll stay. But I tried that and it didn't work. I can't tell if this is where it needs to be. I think so. I think it's stuck in the moss, which is really how I want it. So I guess we'll see when I go to fill it later. I'm going to test, although it's coming out now. I know all you guys are at home are like, oh, just do this, just do that, but I can't hear you. Email me. What do you think I should do? I think it's stuck in the moss. We'll go check. All right, fishy folks, that's it for Sunday Fun Day. It's been a Sunday work day for me. I'm gonna go relax with the kids. Maybe watch some of those new Netflix cartoons that they have for the kids. Voltron and Plastic Man. Yeah. And I'll be back for Water Change Wednesday. Hope everyone has a great day. Check out the website, Michael's Fishroom, www.michaelsfishroom. Peace out, yo.
You understand now? Or do I got to draw you a map? Well, stop. Learn to listen. You know what, Kimmy? You and your fucking fucking lady this talking like this some tough stuff.
Stop acting like an ass.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Listen. I keep telling you, there's 4 sides to that.
And you told me you had all the outside.
No,
You were
I
worried
didn't.
about the fin now. Shut up. Just shut up.
And you know, while you're waiting, if you want to go check out my website, Michael's Fishroom at www. Let's try again. www.michaelsfishroom.com. Not all the fish I have for sale are on that site yet. It's still sort of in preliminary, almost finished test mode. But if you want to buy something, certainly place an order. And if you see something, if you don't see what you want,